Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this Tuesday morning. Got a great show lined up. But first, our weather brought to us by Panhandle Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. And listen, tonight is their open house. Around 5:30, go out and check it out. Great time to go see what the program's being offered. And also, I'm going to get Alex Murphy to get on the show this week and talk about next semester. All kind of really cool things going on at Panhandle Technical Center. We're looking at a high today of only 56, a low of 43. And the water temperature, ironically, has gone up 3 degrees. It's 68. And again, that's those warm currents coming in and out. I get fascinated. I should have been a hydrologist, I guess. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Our river reading brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. Both rivers are looking good. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown is at a 4.3 and really steady. And the Choctaw Carabelle is at a 3.2 and it's steady. Both rivers look good. I've been across the Apalachicola back and forth over the holidays several times. It's a pretty river, and Choctahatchee is a pretty river too. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking at good strong tides. The low tide right now is going to be middle day, 11:11, but with a strong north wind now, it's not getting up there very high, so the low is going to be pretty low in the northern end of the bay system. The high tide is going to be around midnight, right at 12:05, okay? And our wind is not going to be as bad as it was yesterday. It's going to still be blowing about north-northwest at about 8 to 9. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
It's the Mattress Model Closeout Sale going on right now. Save up to 50% on top name brands, including Tempur-Pedic. Stop in today while they last, right here at the Sleep Center.
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Welcome back. We're going to look at a picture. Now, this is a very, very simple picture of a tree. Now, okay, we all see the trees and all out in the woods and all. This particular tree is just sitting out there. But now, you know, there's so many stories in the outdoors that are heartwarming and it's just refreshing and sort of just makes you appreciate the outdoors even more. So this tree right here, I'm going to read you a story. This is from Michael Turner, okay? Michael lost his dad a little while back. Okay, I'm going to read a story about this tree. From the very first time I hung a stand with my dad, it's always been about finding the perfect tree. Not too big, not too small. Plenty of coverage, the right view, and staying incognito per se. What about that one? Just remember, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. You don't want to be staring into the sun. We can all hear our dads telling us that as sons. It's not rocket science. But it does take a little thought and planning before you just throw a stand on a tree. I've been wandering around this 1,000-acre property, up the creek, down the creek, through gullies and up hills, through the swamps and briar patches, searching for the perfect tree. I finally found that perfect tree this morning. It's in a great spot, right beside the creek, rubs everywhere. A few big trails come together at about 30 yards, a pinch point. But none of that stuff is why I've been looking for this tree. You see, this tree was my dad's tree. All those lines are from his climber. I've never been here, and it's been about 7 or 8 years since he's climbed it. I guess you could say I was kind of drawn to it. I don't think I'll ever be more ecstatic about a tree for the rest of my life. My hunt for the perfect tree ended today. I finally found it, Dad. So let's go back to that tree, and that's the tree Michael's talking about. And that's his stories, and that's the appreciation of outdoors and the heritage of hunting and the love of a family and especially a dad and a son. Great story, Michael. Thank you for sharing that. And here's a path going to it. Okay, cool stuff. All right, let's look at some more pictures. Move along now. Speaking of some good stuff going on, hey, Coach, those Drummond boys are on fire this year. Travis Drummond, 15 years old, killed this 7-point Sunday with his bow. These boys have their own Facebook and YouTube channel called Stump Knocker Outdoors. I like that name. Check them out. So here are the boys here. Good job, fellas. I'm going to check out that YouTube channel. That's good hunting with a bow. Now I'm telling you, especially that age, 15 years old, that's some good shooting. Talking about just beautiful rivers. This is a Choctahatchee River right here. Is that not beautiful this time of year? And then here's the other picture of the Choctahatchee. That's what I'm talking about, just getting out on the river and boat ride. Kimberly K. McMinnville Miller. Okay, here's one of my deer blinds again. Check it out. I hope you appreciate these much. I just get a kick out of these. I know they're just ridiculous, but here it is. People ask him how I got in, and he said he would climb in the back. I think that'd be a little hard to do with a gun and all, but anyway, that's somewhere in the Midwest. Okay. Mike McGraw. My son Daniel McGraw and I had time to do some surf fishing. He caught 15 whiting, a small redfish, and a very large whiting was bitten off by the tax man. No pompano, but fish taco time is coming. A number of throwbacks too. We had no time for this. Tonight was awesome. We have had no time for this. Here's it is right here. And an added bonus, let's see. There it is, let's blow it up. Look at those whiting. Good job, Mike McGraw. And that's an added bonus right there, looking at a surf rod and seeing that sunset on the Gulf of Mexico is just downright special. Old Randy Burling, he sent this to me, also sent to Panama City hunting, and I said, here it is, not too bad of a start. This is down to Howard Creek. Randy got a place up down there, Howard Creek, and he hunts back behind the house in that swamp, and he hunts well. He knows where the bucks are. Gets a big buck every year. Good job, Randy. Buddy West just took isn't that just a cool picture of a monarch, especially this time of year. Thank you, Buddy West, St. Andrew. Johnny Sullivan had Braden on before. It's the first year ever. Remember we went fishing with him a little while back. First year ever. Good job, Braden. All right, and Jack Simmons, my buddy Jack Simmons, they went out in the Gulf. And Captain Jonathan, that's his son, put him on the fish. Good pictures there, Jackson. I know y'all had some nice fish. This is special. Check this out. Y'all know what this group party is right here? This is a Fox 28 staff, and this is our Thanksgiving Christmas luncheon right before Thanksgiving last week. Good folks right there, and we just enjoyed it, and it was a feast. It was catered by K-Halls, and we just had a wonderful time. Good folks there, Fox 28. So they've all been on TV now, so they're famous. Bo Drummond sent this back to me. Sent it to me earlier. I didn't get time. I showed it briefly. Hey, Coach, saw my Uncle Fred Drummond in your segment about sturgeon fishing. Locals know him as Freddie Paul Drummond. He's still alive today at 85 years old. Here's another picture of him with another sturgeon. My Paul, Mark Drummond, was Freddie's brother, also was a sturgeon fisherman, and people who worked with him at Lehigh Furniture Company in Mariana called him Sturge. Thought it was cool to see my family on your show. And this is actual pictures, folks. This is where the Chattahoochee Dam is, Lake Seminole, and I talked about those sturgeons would come up there, and they were really, look at that old boat. I love that old boat, and old sturgeons and all. Okay, well, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I wanted to show, first of all, let's go back to, see, when he sent me right here, okay, this is, I asked him how big that buck was at Howard Creek, and it was 8 a point and 165 pounds, 4 years old. Okay, so Randy's buck, I was checking that out. Okay, also, when Steve Shea came on, y'all know what these right here are? These are sand spurs, okay? They're in my shoestrings from our cemetery run. I'll talk about that later, but I sent that to my granddaughters who was with me. Okay, here we go. When Steve was on last week, I just want to again just reemphasize how important this is about giving and all. This is Hunters for the Hungry. The Deer Shack's doing it. It's just a good Christian ministry, and all you have to do and just donate a little bit of your deer. If everybody just donates a little bit of a deer, that will go a long way. I'm gonna share this off and on during hunting season, so I'd like for y'all to work on that. And it's just a good win-win for everybody. One of the things, Christmas coming up, I'm going to be, talking about my book and all that, but I was looking at it last night. I want to do a story. I used to do stories out of my book on a regular basis. Like once a month I'd do a story out of the book, and for years I just hadn't had time to do it. And with Christmas coming up, I was thinking about, what a great present it is. And speaking of Christmas, now, aren't y'all proud? I did these Christmas decorations myself without the help of my wife. Now, she'll watch it on TV, and now she'll be watching and say, I'll probably have to move it this way or something. So there it is, honey. Is that straight? Okay. And she's going to come back up here and put some more stuff. I did this by myself, but she'll come up here and finish it. But anyway, the story, I was looking at a book last night, And I was just flipping through it, and I seen what they did for Christmas and all, and it was just some cool stuff. And we'll talk about that later. But the story I want to share with you today is, again, I've talked about this before. Louis Spinks. This is on page, I think it's right toward the end of the book, and it's Henry Nelson, Louis Spinks. Here's a story. Here's a picture of Louis right there. And here's a fascinating story. I won't read the whole thing to you, but he was born up there in Greensboro, Georgia, in 1907, and he worked up in Birmingham at the steel mills, and he was mayor for 64 years. And when he retired, they bought a lot at Inlet Beach. He retired in '62, moved to Phillips Inlet. And all you South Walton viewers, y'all know where Inlet Beach is. We all know where Inlet Beach is, but their house is right there. It's gone now because when they brought the 4-lane in, they just took the house. But Gail and I was able to go talk to Miss Spinks and interview her in that house before it was moved or torn down. And we had the most wonderful talk with her, and she was just fascinating. And because I'd heard about Mr. Spinks before and all the things he did, and I always, the minds of these men that come up with these things, and what he did now, he worked in, the steel mills up in Birmingham. All kind of cool things were going on. It was a huge industry, and it still is a big industry, but back then, they were just really, it was called the Pittsburgh of the South. But anyway, I want to show you this. I love collecting stuff and all. This is one of my little collections right here. Okay, this y'all see these jigs. Now I love to collect old fishing tackle. Well, this is Louis Special. Okay, from about 1950, late 40s to 1970. What's fascinating about what Mr. Spinks did, I know what he did. I just can't. I don't have any witnesses anymore. But with him working at a steel mill, at a foundry and all that, I'm sure he was able to make a mold or get his guys. I don't think he did the furnaces and all that. He was sort of I think he was like a salesman and office manager and that kind of stuff, and he'd go in and out from what I could piece together. And so what he did, he got a mold made by those guys up there, and he was able to put like a thumb size hole where he was make a jig what he was making, and it did different sizes, and of course he got an imported lead in it. And then what he was able to do, these are actually plastic. Y'all see these containers, right? This is a little plastic. These are so valuable to me. They're probably not worth anything to anybody, but to me it's very valuable because these are still, right here it says Louis Special on them. And it's still in the package. And he would make different sizes. See the jig heads and all? And he started up. He loved to pompano fish in the pier, and that's what the story says about how he loved to pompano fish at the pier and all. But his true love was catching speckled trout. And he became a guide. He was so good at it. And he had, of course, with his Birmingham connections, a lot of his customers, he just stayed busy with Birmingham people coming down in the wintertime and fishing with him. And there was one family, a doctor, he had 4 kids, and he would take 2 boys on one day and 2 boys on the next day. And he was just really so well known. But he had that bubble. He did a little bubble float. And this is where Captain Roy came in. Captain Roy's dad saw how successful he was catching these fish, and they continued doing it. Captain Roy made that Roy Special. In fact, Captain Roy got the jig, the mold, I think, later from Captain Louis. So that story, that's just one of those little stories in the book, and it's always fascinating to me how these men and would come up with these inventions. And see, jig fishing, fishing for jigs, they fish with these jigs also off the pier for pompano. So I'm sure he called pompano some of the same things. That was not done, that was a fairly recent development in the history of fishing with jigs. And it's not done much anymore, really, because people letting it sort of soak. But jig fishing was done really heavy. It started coming along in the 50s, and especially in the 60s, it became a really big deal, sort of a new innovation, and people just going out fishing in the surf with jigs. And I made a lot of them with different colors and all. And it really was pompano. And my first pompano I caught was fishing off the Navarre Pier with a jig that this guy over in Fort Walton made. And I saw him make it and making them. And by the 60s, they were replicating what Captain Louis did back in Birmingham. So I just thought that's a fascinating story to me. It may be boring to you and all, but that's part of our heritage here in the Florida Panhandle about what was going on. And we have evidence here, then you have the story. You have that story in the book here. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, while we're talking about tackle, let's give away another mystery tackle box. It's Christmas time, so we're going to be giving away stuff this week, next week, spontaneously between now and Christmas. and we're not going to have things scheduled. We're just going to jump in with it, okay? The mystery tackle box for this month. All right, let's pull it out now. We'll have our pliers, our floating pliers. That matches my shirt, don't it? Okay. All right, now, a Panhandle Outdoor sticker, and these stickers, we have them here at the studio if you wanted to come by and get one to put on your. No. Okay, here we go. Well, we got a trout trick, some nice bait right here, trout trick. Okay, got some decals, got some jig heads. Speaking of jig heads, it's funny how you watch the development of it. Later on, these got barbs on them. The barbs right in here, that holds these on a lot easier. Okay, what happens, they used to get pulled off, and then I got little barbs on them like that, so it don't pull them off. It sort of hooks on there. I thought, who thought of that? The early guys didn't think of that. Okay, got some strobe strips right here. This is really good bait. All these. How about a cotton cordial? We talked about that. A cotton cordial, right there with a spot on it. All right, and some tackle, some leaders in here, and all right, that's about it. Now, Jeff, I can't reach my bucket. Can you? We're gonna draw a name out for the winner today. All right. That's some good stuff there. And the winner of the mystery tackle box. And all you gotta do is come by the studio and pick it up. The winner is going to be slipped. From the Sandhills, Connie Jones from the Sandhills. Connie, congratulations, and that's a nice little present for you. Let's take our final break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. I know you're sort of getting caught up on your Christmas shopping. If you're like me, we ain't getting started yet, but we really want to get started this week and next week for sure. And if you get a chance, go by and see some of our sponsors. They have some great bargains and great Christmas deals. Look at our fishing game times today. Speaking of sponsors, how about Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe? We're looking at 517 to 717 this morning, and tonight we're looking at 539 to 739. These nights have been a little chilly, last couple of nights, a little windy, so make sure you get a chance to check out the weather now before you get out and do anything, and make sure you have all your safety precautions. I've already had a guy call me. We're going to get ready for we're already talking about getting ready for Safe Boating Week next season. Okay, now when this cold weather, these fronts start coming through this time of year, my heart and my mind goes back to the duck hunting days I used to enjoy, and they're still doing a lot of it. And I still say I'm going to get back and start duck hunting again, but I was doing it back in it way back. And now the technology is fascinating. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check out. I'm just going to write in duck migration. In fact, it already pops up because I watch it. Duck migration report. Okay, so then punch in on it. I've always wondered, where are the ducks? Are they up there in Louisiana? Are they up there in Tennessee? Or are they down here in South Georgia? So then what I do, I go to the Ducks Unlimited, waterfowl, that little top one right there. Ducks Unlimited now, we've done this before. We're gonna do this on, in the wintertime. In the top right-hand corner, I'm gonna hit map. Look at that, is that amazing? Folks, these are the reports, I'm gonna turn it this way. These are reports across America that fellow duck hunters have turned in. And so, of course, I'm going to zoom in down in our area. And the first one, the closest one to us is over here in Tallahassee. So I'm going to punch in on Tallahassee. And there it says Tallahassee, Florida. Then I want to view the results. Boom. And then I'm going to blow up the results. So this was Ethan reporting. Increasing numbers. And here we go to comment. What I'd like to read the comments. The big lakes are loaded up with divers and woodies around too. I'm curious how the coast is, but I'd assume pretty good. Now we're talking about the big lakes up there in Tallahassee. He's talking about Lake Jackson and over there Lake Seminole and Lake Talquin. Those are the three big lakes in that area. All right, so now I've checked that out. So now I'm going to go over to let's close that out. I want to go over to Mobile, Alabama. And okay, right here in the center of the page, here's Mobile. And let's see what Mobile, how big Mobile Bay is. This view report right there. And this was Sunday morning. And he should have been in church. That's okay, but mid-morning, here we are. This is Ghost R. I guess that's wind coming out of the west. Comments. They were here, now they are not. Does that not happen a lot? They were here, now they're not. I saw 4, 1 pintail, 2 woodies, and a solo scop. Hope this front pushes some in. Otherwise, a long season ahead. And I'm sure. And then we don't. I always like to check 3. So, and let's see, what would be the other place around here we'd like? The Birmingham area. That's part of the Mississippi Flyway. Coming down the Tennessee River. Real quick. That's in Selma. And 100 birds flew in on our evening hunt. No baiting, mainly woodies. Okay, that's enough on the porch. Anyway, the beauty of that, you're really getting, avid duck hunters, and they're reporting it, and you can see, but you saw what the guy talked about, the front moving in, and that's the key to the whole thing. Those birds, not just ducks and all the birds, they just have this sense of it with the weather change and that barometric pressure dropping, they have a sense of that front moving in. They try to stay ahead of it. Now here locally, Deer Point Lake, the Sand Hills, Apalachicola Bay, West Bay, these are some of the hot spots. I haven't gotten many reports. I'm going to start getting some duck reports and all. You got 2 kinds of duck hunting. You got lake, what I call lake and pond duck hunting, and freshwater. Then you have bay duck hunting, and it's two different ball games, and you got to do it 2 different ways. But there's some similarities in that you want to get a big spread of decoys out there. You want to be able to call some in, and you want to be well hid. In fact, I saw some boats on the road this past weekend. Nobody had to tell me the duck season was open because they had the camouflage on the boats as they're going down the road, and the camouflage was all over the boat. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. If you get a chance, you don't have to set up in it, but find someone you can go with, and you got to get up early now. When I say early, I'm talking about 4-ish o'clock, maybe about 4 o'clock and all. You got to get set up at break of dawn. You got to be there, and there's wonderful memories are made. I've had great memories with some of my buddies going back in those days and all. So anyway, duck hunting is a lot of fun, and I've got in fact, this is actually a live mount. One of my not a live mount, but a real mount that one of my students did, who's a duck hunter, and one of the Marshall boys. So anyway, I got to wrap things up. Got some good stuff coming up tomorrow. I'll be giving stuff away and all, and start getting ready for Christmas outdoor gifts. I'll have some ideas and suggestions to get outdoorsmen for Christmas. So thank y'all so much for watching our show. We always appreciate our viewership, and I appreciate the feedback y'all get us, the emails, the messages and all, and just keep the cards and letters coming in. Thank you all again. You have a great day today. Enjoy our great outdoors and do something outdoors with a friend. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.